Hey everybody, Jim here with another video for you. This is Shocktober 2025, episode 27. But before I begin, at the end of this video, if you like what you see, please consider giving me a thumbs up, a possible subscribe, but most importantly, please leave comments below. Let me know how you feel about this series. Let me know how you feel about the movies I'm about ready to highlight. So today is episode 27. It is Monday, October 27th as I film this. And today I thought we would talk about some vampire films. We covered sexy vampires a couple of weeks ago, but I wanted to talk a little more about the traditional vampire films. And of course, those all start back from Bram Stoker's Dracula and Nosferatu and such. But the main character that people associate with vampires, for the most part, is Count Dracula. And that character has been done to death many times. Bela Lugosi, Christopher Lee, so many others. I have a couple of different versions of Dracula, and we're going to highlight those as well as some other vampire movies that I enjoy. So I hope you enjoy this. So let's begin. The first movie on the list is from 1979, and it is Dracula, starring Frank Langella, Laurence Olivier, Kate Nelligan, and Donald Pleasance, among others. This one is directed by John Badham, who is a great director. He's very underrated. I might do a special video about him at a later date, but this is my version of Dracula. This is the one that I grew up with watching on HBO back in the day. This movie came out, like I said, in 1979. I was 12 years old. And yes, I watched this movie on repeat on HBO. It's not the best version of Dracula, obviously, but like I said, I will always have a huge nostalgic love for this film, and I think Frank Langella is great in the title character as Count Dracula. So that is the first selection that I will be highlighting today. Jump ahead about 20 years or so, and I'm looking it up because I'm cheating, in 1992. So, yeah, we have 13 years later, we have Bram Stoker's Dracula, directed by Francis Ford Coppola, starring Gary Oldman as the title character this time, with a co-starring cast of Winona Ryder, Anthony Hopkins, Keanu Reeves, among others. And again, I like this version as well. Mainly the art direction and the performance from Gary Oldman is Dracula. I think he's fantastic. Keanu and Winona Ryder are horribly miscast, and as much as I love Anthony Hopkins, he overacts so badly in this movie as Van Helsing. But again, I still enjoy this movie quite a bit, and it's one of those films that, has gotten to be quite beloved as the years have gone by. But since we're talking about Dracula, we have to talk about his loyal assistant, Renfield. And again, that character has also been played several times from different people through the years. As a matter of fact, Tom Waits played him in the Bram Stoker's Dracula. But in this one, it's Nicholas Hoult. And it's Nicolas Cage in the title character. And this movie's played for laughs. This movie's not all that great, to be honest. Awkwafina kind of ruins it for me. Even though I do like her, I think her character is totally unnecessary. But Nicholas Hoult's really fun, as always. And Nicolas Cage is great as Count Dracula. You can tell he's having a ball. So his performance is worth watching this alone. Now, is this movie worth a buy? I don't know. I blind bought this, and looking back, maybe I wouldn't have. I've only watched it maybe once or twice since I bought that. But again, it is well worth watching, if nothing else, for Nicolas Cage as Count Dracula. Okay, moving on from Dracula, let's get into some contemporary vampire films. And this one is from 2007, and this movie is nightmare fuel. I love this movie. I'm talking about 30 Days of Night, based on a graphic novel. This one stars Josh Hartnett, Melissa George, Ben Foster in a really creepy role, as always. I love Ben Foster. And, what's his face? Danny Houston. This one is directed by David Slade, who also directed a really underrated, great thriller called Hard Candy. You might want to check out. But 30 Days a Night, like I said, it's based on a graphic novel, and this is a really interesting concept for a vampire movie. Basically, this takes place way up in the north part of Alaska, where parts of the country literally goes dark for 30 days or longer during the wintertime. And when that happens in this town, as soon as that happens, the vampires move in. And oh yeah, this movie's great. It's got some excellent uh, special effects, some really good performances, and really good tension levels in this movie. And like I said earlier, Ben Foster is awesome. I love that guy, and he's great in this movie. So the next selection is 30 Days of Night. Moving along to the newest vampire movie I have in my collection. This one came out last year, and I'm talking about Abigail. Directed by Radio Silence and starring Dan Stevens, among others. This little girl's a rock star. She's great. This movie, it's fun. I don't think it's scary. It's more of like an action comedy than anything, but it's a lot of fun. And Radio Silence, the team that made this, also made Ready or Not, which I absolutely love. So, yeah, again, if you've never seen this movie, spoiler alert, this little girl's a vampire. They kind of give that away, in the trailer, unfortunately. But it's a lot of fun. This movie's kind of predictable, but again, it's fun. And this little girl is awesome. So the next selection is Abigail. But we're going to close this one out with probably the three vampire films that are the most near and dear to my heart and to an entire generation of people around my age. All three came out within a 2-year period in the 80s. And in order of preference, we're going to start off with Joel Schumacher's The Lost Boys, starring Corey Feldman, Corey Haim, Jason Patric, Kiefer Sutherland, Diane Wiest, Edward Herrmann, Jamie Gertz. A great cast, great soundtrack, great movie. This movie, again, it's fun. It's a lot of fun. And I've said it before, I'll say it again. If I had to pick one horror movie to encapsulate the 80s, what the 80s felt like, looked like, sounded like, it would be The Lost Boys. It's a perfect snapshot in time for that part of the 80s. Moving right along, slightly above The Lost Boys, in my opinion, is Catherine Bigelow's Near Dark, starring Lance Henriksen, Adrian Pasdar, Jenny Wright, Tim Thomerson, and the late, great Bill Paxton. This movie's phenomenal, and unfortunately, it doesn't get the attention and love that it deserves. There still has not been a proper Blu-ray or 4K release of this in the States. They had a Blu-ray release of this years ago, which is out of print, with a horrible cover art that looks like Twilight, and the transfer sucks. And quite honestly, this Anchor Bay DVD looks just as good. But I want this movie in high def. I really do, because I adore this movie, and it's one of Bill Paxton's best performances. But number one, my favorite vampire film of all time, and it's not even close as much as I love those other films, is Fright Night. Starring Chris Sarandon, Amanda Bierce, William Ragsdale, and the incredible late, great Roddy McDowall as Peter Vincent. This one is written and directed by Tom Holland, who also wrote and directed Child's Play. This movie is phenomenal. Like I said, this is my favorite vampire movie ever. This is one of my favorite poster artworks ever. It's just phenomenal. This movie, in a nutshell, like I said, it's fun. It's a blast. Chris Sarandon is great as the vampire, and Roddy McDowall, who I have loved since I was a child. My first film that I can remember seeing is Battle for the Planet of the Apes, starring Roddy McDowall. So I will always love him. But to me, Peter Vincent is the role he was born to play. He is perfect in the role. And to me, Fright Night is damn near a perfect vampire movie. It's just awesome in every way. And that's how we're going to wrap up episode 27 of Shocktober 2025. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please consider giving me a thumbs up, a possible subscribe, but most importantly, please leave those comments below. Let me know how you feel about the films that I mentioned. Let me know what some of your favorite vampire films are. We've only got 4 episodes to go, folks, so we'll see you on the next one.